Hello, my name is Jack Dulles, Director of Training at Tulsa Welding School, and today we're going to talk about 3 common mistakes made by rookies, okay? So let's talk about number 1. Number 1 is going to be long arcing. Tell me, Jack, what is long arcing? Okay, so long arcing is where you have the rod away from the metal. And the farther you get it away from the rod, the more it's going to make a mess. Now, and if you get it too far away, it'll just shut off. But what you'll see, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of this very soon, is as I'm running it, I'm going to start to let the rod get farther and farther away from the metal. You're going to see the rod, literally the molting metal, just basically dropping out onto the plate. It's going to create a lot of spatter. There's going to be, the slag's going to stick to the bead. It's going to be, it's not going to run good at all. The next common mistake I'm going to show you is where people just allow the rod to rest on the metal, okay? Now, in the flat position, yes, you can let it rest on the metal for somewhat, but this is not something that you want to get used to doing. And what I'm going to show you is having the rod just buried into the metal and just letting it rest right there where my travel speed is really slow. It's going to build up a huge mound of weld. It's not going to look good. Next one is going to be going too fast. A lot of people, I see it all the time, is where they're basically just dragging that rod across there, and your beads, instead of coming out a C shape, they're going to come out a V shape. And when you see that V-shaped bead, that's telling you that you're dragging the rod too fast, you're pulling it too quick, and you need to slow down on your travel speed. So I'm going to go through each one of these examples, rod after rod, to show you each one. So the very first one we're going to do is going to be long arcing. So what I'll do is I will start the rod off, I'll get it burning bright, and then I'll start to long arc it farther and farther away. And you'll see clearly what's going on. So let me show you long arcing. We're running a 7018 1/8 rod at 119 amps. And so I just wanted to show you that. Okay, long arcing. This is it. We'll strike up first, get it going, and then I'll start to long arc. Here we go. So we got our bead going good. We got a nice little puddle here. We're just following it along. And then what happens is you start to long arc. And watch this. Look how it's starting to do. Look at the rod just dropping metal into the puddle. This is no good. You can see the smoke. You can see how it's all crazy and acting sporadic. I can't control my puddle like this. If this is how you're welding, this is not good. This is not acceptable. If you see this, it's telling you you're long arcing. Push the rod back down into the metal. Get the puddle back under control. Keep it close to the plate. Like I say, this is long arcing, not good. You do not want to weld like this. Oh, it went off. Perfect example. You get it too far away and it just shuts off. Look at my bead. Look how nasty it is. I'm going to knock the slag off so you can see. I've got a mess here. There is spatter everywhere. Where I ran it good was fine. As I get over here where I was long arcing, I can't even get the slag off. You can see it's just stuck to the bead. There's spatter everywhere, smoke everywhere. The bead is irregular. It's not even round. It's out of shape completely. So this is all bad. Okay, rookie mistake number 1, long arcing. Let's show you rookie mistake number 2. Is burying the rod into the metal. Okay, so we're going to bury the rod into the metal. I will start it off good, just like I did that one, and then I'll show you what it looks like burying the rod into the metal. Okay, so here we go. Another one, burying the rod into the metal. We're running it good, everything's going good, and then all of a sudden you start to push the rod down, and you get it buried into the metal. You can see it. You can't even hardly see what you're doing because you got it just buried down into the metal. You're not going anywhere, you're just making a big pile of metal. You can't see because it's down in the dark. You can barely even see any light coming out because you got it jammed down into the plate so much. This is not good, okay? You do not want to weld like this. You want to keep it up off the metal just slightly as you weld and control it. It's okay if it bumps along the plate, but it can't be buried into the metal like it is right here. This is not acceptable. That's called burying your rod into the metal. And as you can see, it is not acceptable. As I clean it off here, you're gonna see the pile. You can see all the spatter building up. My slag does not want to come off my plate because it is just built up. You can see how my bead is. Let me clear it off for you. And you can see how it's all built up as I had the rod buried into the metal. May even got a little bit of porosity dots in there because it was just, you can't control it like that. So you do not want to have the rod long arcing. You do not want to have the rod buried into the metal. Let's talk about travel speed, okay? It's critical that you find a nice travel speed. Everybody's travel speed is a little bit different. Some people like to run their beads a little smaller. Some people like to run their beads a little bit faster. But in all, you still got to have a nice uniform bead. And when you're running it too fast, you're going to end up with a very V-shaped bead. And so this bead won't take long. It's going to go pretty quick just because I'm going to show you pulling it entirely too fast. And when we get done, it will not be a C-shaped bead. It will be a V-shaped bead, okay? So here we go. Like I say, this one is going too fast, all right? Here we go. We fire up. We're running it good. And then all of a sudden we just take off with it. And we start dragging it across the metal. And you see this commonly with beginning welders. They just get it going on here and they're racing across here as fast as they can go. Look, I'm doing it. No, you're going entirely too fast. Okay, now I've pulled it all the way across there. You can see my bead as I clean it up here. It's going to be very irregular shaped. It's going to be very small, and it's going to be in a V-shaped bead. If you look closely down here at my beads, and I'll try to clear it off so you can see it, they're barely even melting into the metal because I was going so fast. And like I say, they're now C-shaped. Now they are V-shaped, and it's letting you know you're going entirely too fast. So if you see these common mistakes, you know, these are the ways to adjust them. Like I say, if you're long arcing, get the rod closer to the metal. If you're burying the rod into the metal, move it up just a little bit. Don't long arc it, but keep it off the metal. It's okay if it bumps along the plate, but it can't be buried down into the plate. It won't work. You can't see where you're going. Ultimately, you're just going to have mess everywhere. And then last thing is the V-shaped beads. You know, you're going entirely too fast. You just need to slow down your travel speed. You're going too quick, so just take your time. Let the rod burn. You know, let it do the work. If you're over here trying to race it across there, it shouldn't be done that way. You're not going to end up with quality beads. You're going to end up with irregular shaped beads, and ultimately you're not going to pass. So, like I say, if you see in these things, I hope this will help you on the little tips and tricks. Like I say, this is 3 common mistakes made by beginners, and hopefully you learned something today, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you for watching our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. If you would like to get some more tips and tricks and become a better welder, then subscribe to our channel. And if you would like to learn even more right now, then click on our link. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.